The story begins with a kaiju emerging in the city of Yokohama, Japan, the world leader in kaiju incidents. An alert is issued, and all residents in the area are evacuated. The kaiju is easily defeated by the main elite force in kaiju defense, and they are observed by Kafka, a simple janitor. It seems like they'll have extra work today, so they prepare to head to work. The members of the 3rd Division who dealt with the kaiju are applauded by civilians. But everyone recommends staying on alert, as other smaller kaijus may be lurking nearby. Kafka Hibino, 32 years old, an experienced and professional kaiju residue cleaner. He and his team clean up the remnants of the kaiju defeated by the 3rd Division. It's a dangerous job with no recognition from the people, but it's important, and someone needs to do it. After a long day of work, Kafka returns home exhausted, the smell of dead flesh still lingering in his nose. The news on TV talks about today's incident, focusing on Captain Mina Ashiro, 27, who has already taken down hundreds of kaijus, making her a professional in her field. Mina is an old childhood friend of Kafka's. They made a promise together, one that Kafka hasn't been able to fulfill yet, and he feels really bad about it. He even tries to convince himself that his cleaning job is also very important, but it doesn't seem like enough. The next day, when Kafka goes to work, he meets the new team member, 18-year-old Leno Ichikawa. He's interested in joining the defense team. Kafka also shared this desire, but he failed several times and eventually gave up. Ichikawa is curious about Kafka's giving up, and Kafka responds that he did his best and everyone has a limit. But that doesn't convince Ichikawa. He refuses to give up, even if he dies in the process. After that, Kafka helps Ichikawa on his first day, explaining how the work should be done. Kafka is one of the best cleaners. Even though the service is horrible in the area he operates, he never refuses and always moves forward. The workday comes to an end, and the cleaning team goes ahead while Kafka stays behind to finish the report. Ichikawa is also there and thanks Kafka for his help on his first day, mentioning that the defense team has increased the age limit to 33, so there's one last chance for Kafka if he wants to try. Ichikawa noticed the sadness on Kafka's face when they talked about the subject earlier, and this touches Kafka deeply. He's very grateful for it. But in the middle of the conversation, a creature emerges from the ground and almost swallows Ichikawa. Kafka saves him just in time and tells him to run as fast as he can and issue an alert to the defense force. Ichikawa refuses to leave him alone there, but Kafka convinces him anyway. After all, he still has a dream to pursue. Kafka is alone against that monster and there's nothing he can do against it. As he's attacked, he wonders how the hell he ended up like this. He remembers his childhood, the exact moment he made his promise with Mina, when they swore they would join the defense force and exterminate all the kaijus. The two of them now compete to see who will become the coolest member of the force. Back to reality, Kafka's leg is crushed, and he's about to be devoured. But Ichikawa returns and hits the monster with a piece of iron. He has already issued the alert and came back to help his friend. After all, how could he be worthy of joining the force if he abandoned Kafka? In Kafka's mind, nothing has changed. Whether it's the test he never seems to pass, his friend he can't protect, or even his apprentice at work. Amidst the despair, Kafka screams in anguish. But at that moment, the kaiju is exterminated by several shots. The defense team has arrived. Kafka and Ichikawa are saved by the 3rd Division led by Mina. She sees Kafka but doesn't pay much attention to him and goes to examine the area with part of the team in search of other kaiju offspring. Ichikawa and Kafka are taken to the hospital. And there, Kafka realizes how Mina has become so amazing and is completely out of his reach. But then, Ichikawa thanks him and praises him, saying that he's really cool. If it weren't for Kafka, he would surely have died. Kafka has a glimpse of his past again. Ichikawa says that he should really try to join the defense team again. This makes Kafka ashamed of his quitting thoughts and gathers a little more strength to keep trying. But a strange insect appears right in front of him, saying, "I found you." The insect enters Kafka's mouth and completely transforms his body. Ichikawa opens the curtain to see what all the noise is about, and there he sees a monstrous Kafka. He had become a kaiju. An old man passing by also sees Kafka and issues a kaiju alert. Mina remembers her childhood with Kafka and the promise they made. He said he would be by her side to protect her when she needed, and back in the present, she calls him a liar. As she takes her princess bath, her phone rings. A kaiju alert has been issued, and she prepares to hunt. Meanwhile, Kafka wonders what the hell happened to him. They try to calm the situation with the old man, but end up making it worse. Kafka tries to see if the old man is okay, but his strength is so immense that when he leans on the wall, it shatters. This alerts other patients, and they decide to quickly flee the hospital. On the way, Kafka wonders what will happen from now on, how he will join the defense team now. Ichikawa thinks it's impossible. After all, now he's a kaiju, it would be the same as trying to kill himself. Kafka despairs, just when he had decided to try again. Is it really impossible for him to join the defense team? The two try to hide in a forbidden zone to avoid drawing attention, but Kafka feels something coming. A kaiju pup walks underground right below the city. Ichikawa says the defense team is already on their way, so they will take care of it. The kaiju emerges on the surface and destroys some houses. And in the rubble is a little girl's mother who cries, trying to save her from there. She begs her daughter to flee, but she is terrified of losing her mother. The little kaiju is right there, about to devour them. But before it can, Kafka appears, delivering a powerful punch right in the damn kaiju's face. The monster flies meters ahead. Kafka is really strong now, and even he is impressed with his power. He tries to help the child and her mother, but his appearance is monstrous and scares the girl. Ichikawa soon arrives there too, as does the little kaiju, who returns wanting to take another beating. Kafka tells Ichikawa to get them out of there while he takes care of this. And gathering massive energy in his fist, Kafka counts from 1 to 3 and completely smashes the enemy with a single blow that explodes it, causing a rain of tomato sauce. Kafka's appearance still scares the girl a bit, but he says he's leaving and help is on the way. But before he leaves, the little girl thanks him, and this fills Kafka's heart with emotion. He wanders in his memories again. There is still hope of fulfilling his promise. Ichikawa takes the two people to the hospital while Kafka hides from the defense team. Kafka has been nicknamed Kaiju number 8 by the defense force. His whereabouts remain a mystery, and he has been missing for 3 months. During this time, Ichikawa and Kafka completed the first part of the defense force test, and they managed to pass. Kafka is in his kaiju form outdoors without a care in the world, and Ichikawa hits him with a flying kick, asking what he's thinking. They have a discussion about Kafka having to hide his powers. In the second phase, they will be surrounded by kaiju hunters, so if something goes wrong, Kafka dies. On the day of the test, they both arrive at the parking lot, and Ichikawa finds the base of the troop very cool. They chat, but a blonde girl interrupts them, calling Kafka an old man. She is also a candidate and throws a tantrum, telling Kafka to move his car because her lucky number today is 5, and Kafka is occupying spot 55. Kafka wonders who this annoying and conceited girl is, but she gets tired of waiting and decides to move it herself. She takes off her blaze and shows her special suit, the same type of suit used by the defense team. She activates the suit's strength and lifts Kafka's car as if it were nothing, throwing it to a random spot. This piques Ichikawa's curiosity. Who is this girl, after all? Well, she's Shinomiya, candidate number 2016, basically a prodigy. She smells a peculiar scent on Kafka, and as she approaches him, she says he smells like a kaiju.